Warning. This show features dark subjects which may be triggering to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Chaos Jar. I'm your announcer, J Wes Secord, the loud and obnoxious one. Hey!
Oh, we're off to a good start.
Next, we have our host, our big bag of facts, Bad Ben.
Hey!
And lastly, our good friend who joins us every time, A.T. Token.
Sadly, across from the bag of wind.
Bag of wind.
Tasty wind.
Now,
Like ramen.
chow mein. Chow ramen.
You do know what it is.
Yeah, it's right on the bag.
You didn't say!
Yeah.
Bag.
Because I was cooking it with, like, ramen.
All right.
So, as always, you can reach us at Instagram and Twitter at BA Chaos Jar. Is that just it? Yeah.
Yeah, there's you.
And then there's me. No, sorry, I meant the
Just
yeah
be a
thing.
Chaos Jar.
Yep.
Words help.
So, and you can reach me at I'm glad you asked _ and if you ask me random questions, I will answer them with random answers. Also, you can reach us on Facebook at, well, Pandora's Podcast, blah, blah, blah. We'll get it changed.
Pending 5 months.
Pending 5 months. And also, if you want to support us and be a patron, you can go to patreon.com/chaosjarpodcast, and we'll be all like, hey, give us money, and we'll be like, hey, here's some early content. Whoa, really cool. Plus, if you go there, you can check out some of the Overflow episodes we've released so far. You know, all the cool stuff. Anyway, all that being said, it'll be in our show notes and everything. Don't forget that we also have a YouTube channel called Chaos Jar. It will be fun and exciting. So, like, subscribe, rate, and review. Jerry Coral, hit the bell, do a little dance, make a little love. Get down tonight.
We're down to 1.
We aren't.
Well, for now.
For today.
For today.
We didn't have any earphones, so.
That is a contributing factor, and we will not explain now.
Also, a little shout out to your friend Ashley who messaged me.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was also going to shout out to Ashley, who successfully has helped me gain at least 6 of the mass comic books that I asked people to help me get.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's still a few. It was 6 issues, so that was basically 2 series.
We want another remainder so people know what's left.
Yeah, that's a great question.
And we will come back to it in about a minute.
It'll be in the overflow.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Wow, that really sucks. My phone deletes notes now after 40 days.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah, so I have
40 days. You had some time.
No, some of them I keep for reminders and shit, like my internet password and how much I pay rent.
Okay, try Google Keep.
Nope, it's too late. So
it's too late. Now he doesn't know how much he has to pay for rent, and he doesn't know his passwords.
I guess you're moving. Oh, well.
Yeah. So we're still missing Lobo Mask, The Mask, and / martial law. For the record, that's martial as in the name and not the word. And Itty Bitty Mask. Some of these were on the website I was shown, but they were still pretty damn expensive. But still, that was really cool of Ashley. So, like, all the shout-outs, Ashley. We love you. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for interacting with us. We are very lonely.
And, sending that message and, contributing to trying to find new topics for the show.
Oh, yeah. What kind of topics?
Well, the topic that she threw out there was the one from Evil Genius, which is on Netflix. It's about the pizza bomber.
Oh!
And I already knew about that and have that case loaded. I just try to space out the really big cases. So...
Oh, okay, so cool.
I did send her a message back being like, hey, I'm aware of the pizza bomber and thank you for contributing. And if there's any more, please send them out.
So someday we're going to get to that one, Ashley. But either way, we love you and we love that you're so gung-ho. We appreciate that.
We have no fans.
The other 20 of you could learn something or two from this.
Feels like another give a shit speech.
Anyways.
What are we doing?
So, the topic for the day.
Oh, yeah. What's going in the jar?
What's going in the jar today is the Ahool.
Like in a ground? As opposed to my ass?
No, it's the Ahool. I'll explain what that is in a moment.
Is that the, like, Dr. Seuss creatures?
It could almost be.
Okay.
How about I start it off by asking you how much you know about Java?
Well...
Kitty scripts.
I believe he was choked by a chain.
That's Java, not Java.
They pull apart and steal people's technology.
I'm actually astonished that neither one of you jumped on the boat of the coffee, but okay.
Yeah, I know.
But
appeal to the
that coffee programs, didn't he just make that joke?
I guess so. Anyways, what I'm talking about is the island of Java, which is part of Indonesia, and it's bordered by the Indian Sea to the south and the Java Sea to the north. Roughly 141 to 145 million people on this island.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it's the world's most populous island.
Clearly.
So, like, because it's an island, I assume it's really small, so these people are just kind of clumped together.
Well, it's in Indonesia.
So yes,
it's just one little island. Yeah, it's like Amherst Island.
You don't actually see the island; it's just a group of people.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of people standing out. Nobody move.
What do you think Japan is?
Wow,
a country.
Fair enough.
So, the island houses 56% of the Indonesian population and has the capital of Jakarta on the island.
Is their population density greater than Japan's?
I have no idea.
They also house the other 50% is Canadians.
I guess so. Well, that Canadian construction company, knock, knock, knock.
Oh, we're going to make sure that you get what you're looking for. Knock, knock.
We had to put up a fence.
Now we know to separate the Canadians and the Indonesians.
Yeah.
Drinking there?
So, there is fossilized remains found on the island
of Canadians.
No.
Just poop.
Could be. They were Homo erectus, but they were actually popularly known as the Java Man. And they date back to about 1.7 million years. And they were found along the bank of the Bengawan Solo River.
Well, the Java men better be Homo erectus.
Yeah. So
penis joke.
So it was in 1891 or 1892. They're not entirely certain of the date of the discovery. The expedition.
Forgot.
Well, the excavation was led by Eugene Dubois.
It's a French guy.
They uncovered a tooth, a skull cap, and a thigh bone. And so basically...
They were Jewish?
Jewish undead.
So, there was a lot of argument that the
Having the fight with Jesus
represented the missing link. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I'm trying to stay away from the sacrilegiousness of that whole thing.
Yeah.
Send your hate mail, too.
Yeah, send hate mail messages, too. It's not like he has to read them.
I'll send them right back, you fuckers.
just ask me a question. Why are you so racist? Why do you want to know?
You managed us for 400 fucking years.
So, there was arguments over the fact that the fossils represented the missing link between apes and humans. Dubois gave the species a specific name of Anthropopithecus erectus. Yeah.
Popithecus.
Yeah, Popithecus.
Popithecus erectus.
Was that named by that guy's, 6-year-old son?
Well, it was later renamed to Pithecanthropus erectus.
Pithecanthropus erectus?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it so much better.
So the fossil...
Pretty good for biology.
So it aroused a lot of controversy less than 10 years after the 1891 discovery. There's 80 books and articles published about Dubois' finds.
Oh, now that you're beside me, I can read the quotes.
Yeah, well, there's no quotes in this one.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Those are quotes. Oh no, that's just a word.
Fail at reading. How tired are you?
No, I saw quotes. I just didn't see that.
You saw quotation marks and thought.
Yeah, it was just a word though.
So, despite the arguments, few accepted that the Java man was a transitional form between apes and humans. They basically just dismissed the fossils as apes, other than as modern humans. Later, it was basically decided in the 1930s that the claims that it was a Pithecanthropus.
Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah, well, and it was built more like a giant gibbon. And
You're all wrong.
No, I don't like it. I don't like pie.
And so basically
What's wrong with you? Ice cream that shit up.
So basically they linked the similarities between the Java man and another found remains called the Peking man as Homo erectus in 1950s.
Peking pie.
Yeah. That's because it was found in Peking.
Peking?
Yeah.
Honestly, that kind of sounds like a DJ.
Basically,
Mr. PK!
So basically, in 1950, Ernst Mayr renamed both to Homo erectus because he saw that they were very similarly built. So it became part of the human evolutionary tree. And the only thing that really distinguished the two of them was that there were slight differences, so scientists began to regard it as a subspecies known as Homo erectus erectus.
2 penises.
Yeah.
My
It
God.
was doubly erect.
No. 2 penises, both erect.
One man DP.
So, other fossils found in the first half of the 20th century showed that the Java man basically was not a subspecies, and it all became part of the same species again. There was no subspecies left. It's been housed at the Naturalists in the Netherlands since 1900. So, let's fast forward from there to late June 2020.
Oh.
Pretty big leap.
Yeah. So a photo was posted to the internet.
Hi.
Hey.
So a photo was posted to the internet showing a very large bat. The caption, like an actual bat, not a baseball bat.
Wow.
So
a baseball bat.
It doesn't connect to the Homo erectus thing.
There is a bat stapled to the wooden bat.
It doesn't connect to the Homo erectus thing, really. I'll explain afterwards.
I hope so, or the audience is going to get lost.
Yeah. So the caption on Twitter was from Alex Joestar622, and it read the following.
Joestar?
Yeah.
Legit.
Alex Joestar622.
Oh, it's a username.
Yeah,
it's not.
I was really excited that someone had the actual name Joestar. That is just the stupidest last name that could exist.
That would be amazing.
And that's why that's why it exists in anime.
So, the caption for the photo that was posted on Twitter reads as the following. Remember when I told y'all about the Philippines having human-sized bats? Yeah, this is what I was talking about. And the photo caught fire and spread over the internet, sparking interest in a lesser-known cryptid from Indonesia known as the Ahool.
Photos are being shown.
Yeah,
oh,
we're showing
wow.
photos of this. It'll be posted on social media.
That's so Ahool.
Really?
There you go.
I mean, that looks like a dog in a cape, but okay.
Yeah.
It's a giant-ass fruit bat, from what I can tell.
Yeah, but this one's what's more interesting is it has a flattened nose.
Oh, so this one is a fruit bat. in comparison.
Yeah, but that's just it. Is this sparked interest in the Ahool, and as we go through, you'll understand why it sparked interest in this.
He's eating a banana. It's so cute.
So, deep in the jungles of Indonesia, mainly on the island of Java, there is a legend of a giant bat-like creature. Generally, it's described as a giant bat, while some legends do depict it.
Really? Was that necessary?
Yeah, I have to. I do have to.
A giant
It was
bat-like...
a dick with wings.
a giant bat-like creature that is often considered to look like a bat.
Other legends, but other legends depict it as a flying primate. So that's where it kind of gets lost in translation.
Wait, like Wizard of Oz?
Almost, but not with like wings like that. It's more of like a flying squirrel kind of thing.
Oh, so kind of like
Wouldn't that be too heavy, actually, for a glider?
I have no idea.
It doesn't make any biological sense at all.
So
I like the idea that it's just a fucking wyvern monkey.
I really wanted to be a hairy fat guy who lost weight.
He didn't lose it. He had liposuction.
as it happens when you crash diet. So,
I'm Batman.
so we'll circle back to the flying primate, but for the sake of how we're talking about this at the present, we'll focus more on the description of based on accounts.
Okay.
So the Ahool, or an Athol, which is even better. Athol.
Like the Irish?
Athol. Athol.
That's Irish.
Yeah.
Wait, that's weird.
No, like you. Such an asshole.
Or
Gotta work on that language, huh?
or from its genus,
ASL.
or from its actual species genus, because they actually have given this a species genus, Pteraptis boomus.
Okay, it's a moving
So,
after.
Like I said,
But
it's
they gave it an actual species name?
Pteraptis boomus. Yep, they gave it a species.
Who did?
Scientists, actual biologists.
So scientists and people who, with actual credibility, believe in this thing.
Yeah, they believe it exists. So,
Yeah, that's what makes you an asshole.
That's so many things make me an asshole. Like making fun of that list. What the fuck is that, by the way?
Oh, that's just, our da book.
yeah.
Miss Mike Tyson is trying to tell you you're an asshole.
From way over there on the bookshelf.
Yeah. A little side tangent. When I actually saw the episode title, I didn't realize that it wasn't spelt Book.
Yeah.
So like when I was reading, I'm like, oh, that's how it's spelt? It's even funnier that I make fun of this.
Yeah.
I'm the asshole.
No,
So-
you're the asshole.
Yes.
The creature is roughly said to be a bat-like creature, like I said, that is roughly the size of a 1-year-old child, so about 4 feet tall.
What?
Yeah, with a
What
gigantic
1-year-old is 4 foot tall?
with a gigantic wing.
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah. They say
Giants
about
are you raising?
they say about 4. It comes up as about a 1-year-old or 4 foot tall or
Sounded like a
1.1.
Fucking walked it.
Don't die.
Yeah. And it has a gigantic wingspan of between 12 to 28 feet, which
What?
is insane.
Exceeding a condor? So
Yeah.
the biggest wingspan on the planet.
Yeah. It's even said that these things could be taller than 4 feet tall. They can be roughly up to 6 feet tall.
For what it's worth, you'd need that wingspan to match that size of
Yeah.
weight. But what the fuck?
It's actually just a vampire.
Shit.
Sure. But
So-
there's no more virgins, so it's gonna die.
So it's covered in short, dark gray fur, has flattened forearms to support the giant leathery wings, and possesses a monkey-like head with a flat snout and a man-like face that houses 2 very large black eyes. It can be spotted squatting on the jungle floor with feet that point backwards.
So it gets in a lot of fights.
A lot of that makes sense. Presumably nocturnal.
Yes.
Why the fuck would it be on the floor of the jungle?
Because it's too large to just hang in trees and stuff like that.
Have either of you guys played Monster Hunter?
Nah, I
I've heard of it, though.
In one of them, because most of the monsters, especially in the early games, are wyverns, they started playing around with the wyvern concept, and one of them is actually like a panther wyvern, but it literally just looks like a giant-ass bat.
Like a scaled panther bat?
No, it's literally...
Because that would be fucking terrifying.
Like, no scales, it's fur, and it just looks like a panther that has the wings and the back legs.
Pretty close to a manticore.
This is pretty cool.
Is that the human face? Scorpion tail? Halfway there.
No, not really.
Well, how many other things look like that?
It literally just looks like a panther with wings. But it uses the end of its wings as hands, too, so it crawls on them.
It's like a pterodactyl almost.
Yeah, or even a bat.
And Ahool.
So, honestly, that's kind of what it's reminding me of.
So, the namesake of the Ahool comes from the shrill call that the creature makes when it's in the vicinity of prey.
Ahool!
Basically, this thing goes, Ahool! So all I can think is it's like a Pokemon.
Ahool! Ahool!
So...
That sounds like the most fucked up.
I choose you, Ahool!
Oh my god! Now I want a micro Pokemon version of the Ahool. Nice. Add that to the art list that you guys never send us.
Yeah. So, the creature is thought to be nocturnal, with most attacks and sightings happening at night. Spending its days in dark caves or hidden in dense canopy. At night, it is spotted skimming surfaces of water, searching as water sources, searching for its main source of food, large fish.
Okay.
So, one
fucking bat pelican.
Yeah. So one of the earliest accounts of the Ahool, like in recorded history, comes from 1925.
Worst fucking superhero villain ever.
Yes. So one of the earliest accounts of the Ahool is Ahool. It's the first thing it ever said.
So, like I said, the earliest account comes from 1925. Naturalist Dr. Ernest Barthes, son of noted ornithologist.
Do you need help there?
Yeah, for a second I was like, wait a minute.
Ornithologist.
So, Barthes was exploring a waterfall on the slopes of the Salik Mountain, and a giant unknown bat, the Ahool, flew directly over his head. 2 years later, in 1927, around 11:30 p.m., Dr. Barthes encountered the Ahool again. This time he was laying in bed inside his thatched house, close to the... I'm gonna butcher this, but Tidjenkol River in western Java.
None of us are pronouncing that right.
Yeah, listening to the sound of the jungle when suddenly he heard a very harsh call coming from directly above his hut. I wonder what it sounded like.
So really, he saw an overhang shadow, and he's attributing the size of this thing to an overhang shadow just out of sleep.
So, he saw it once during the day.
He also battled it with his Pikachu.
I so thought you were going to say his penis.
So, this...
The ultimate cockfight.
For the record.
Yeah, that does look a lot like it, actually.
That's pretty cool. That looks like it would fuck you up.
So...
It is scaled.
Yeah, I guess I didn't remember it as well.
That would be terrifying. How the fuck do you kill that thing?
Like everything else. You
firebomb in the throat?
Well, that too, but you throw paintball on it so you can keep tracking it. You chase it down and attack it with...
What was that word you used? Throw what to
track? A paintball.
A paintball?
Yep.
And that helps you track a giant fucking lizard how? As opposed to just listening?
Yes.
Because there's other giant lizards in there.
Oh, so you're just fucked.
Yeah.
Wait, can you get ambushed by another thing?
What? Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. I gotta play
There's giant fucking raptors and shit.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Anyway... But yeah, and then you beat it up with a giant claymore, small swords, whatever. You usually get in a group or team.
That wouldn't work. You'd have to pry out a scale and stab it through the opening hole. It'd kill you by then.
It's a video game.
I guess
Yeah. They
I'm too used to realistically killing shit. You're wrong.
okay.
All right. So, Dr. Bartis ran out of his hut in the direction of the sound with a torch, so a flashlight. Less than 20 seconds later, he heard the cry again, which floated back towards him with considerable distance downstream. As he would later recall, many years later, he was transfixed by the sound, and not because he did not know what produced it, rather because he did know that it was the Ahool.
If you see it in a day, is it possibly diurnal?
It's very possible that it got disrupted by him being in the mountain region, though. So at one time,
It killed him, then, didn't it?
well, no, it never claims to really kill humans. It does attack humans occasionally, but that's only in legends from the locals, right? So at one time, Bartis had suggested that perhaps the creature was not a bat, but some sort of type of bird, possibly a very large owl, but this theory did not sit well because of the fact that there are so many descriptions outside of it, and that, an owl doesn't really make that sound.
Excuse me, you just have to make that hool into a who, and you're good.
Give me a few whiskeys and a nice girl, and that's what it's going to sound like.
Wow.
That was the most sexual joke I've ever heard you say.
Everything sounds the same when you're fucked.
So, he was greeted with passionate denials by his friends.
See? Didn't happen.
And they said that under no uncertain terms that he could not be able to distinguish a bat from a bird. Bartis' accounts of the Ahool were passed down to cryptozoologist Ivan T. Sanderson, and
Great name.
Yeah, well, Sanderson...
He's that novelist.
He actually is a novelist, so that's...
Oh!
Sanderson concluded that the Ahool was a form of unclassified bat.
You kidding, buddy? Just head bash your own lunch.
Dinner.
So,
I mean...
Sanderson took special interest in the Ahool because he too had met the creature, but not in Java. His encounter happened in the mountains of Cameroon, which is in West Africa.
Africa.
Yeah.
Fikra.
So Sanderson thought that the Ahool could be an oriental form of the giant bat-like creature he witnessed in Africa. I knew you were waiting for it. This creature is also known to the African natives as the Kongomoto. The Kongomoto is a large pterosaur-like creature in semi-tropical regions of Africa, including Zambia, the Congo, and Angola. It resembles basically a flying lizard and looks like a pterosaur.
Which is, I see why it's pretty close to that.
Yeah.
That Monster Hunter creature.
Its name means breaker of boats or overturner of boats, as it's said to capsize canoes of the native and attack the people as they tried to when they ventured too close to rivers.
Fucking eagles.
My favorite part about that image is that it doesn't do what you think it would do. It would just go up to it and go,
you're overturned. And then when they're all out, you just snap. The boat's broken.
Yeah, yeah. And then he takes a handsaw and starts sawing.
Yeah,
no one will ever believe you.
He just gets a drill and
nature is part of an improv comedy.
So the Kongomoto is described as a reddish lizard with membrane wings and teeth and a beak.
That's a shitty motto.
Yeah. Its wingspan ranges between 4 and this is what I love. It ranges between 4 feet and 100 feet across.
Yeah.
What a
suspect between 4'2" and
what
6'8".
a crazy what a crazy range. He might have been 4 feet tall, or he might have been 100 feet tall.
I ordered something off Wish once, and it said, your product will show up sometime between October 13th and December 8th. Yeah, thanks. What a great gap there.
So when
Not bad.
the idea is that it's a big opening.
So when
that lady?
Sanderson showed a picture of a pterosaur to the natives that told him about the Congamato,
They're like, he fell in
they
love.
actually confirmed that that's the creature that they were always talking about.
So this thing might actually be a pterodactyl?
So this is not the Ahool, this is the Congamato, which is apparently related to the Ahool according to Sanderson, but it's not confirmed.
Right, I got that. But so this thing is a
It
pterodactyl?
might be a pterosaur, yeah.
Fuck.
So
Dinosaurs.
it is thought that the Congamato only eats fish, but it does occasionally dine on humans. They also will dig into graves and steal human corpses.
So it's a carrion eater.
Well, in Africa, they don't bury it unusually deep, so it is an interesting note that this does happen, and that they are prime for like bird watching sites. So they apparently hang out where there's a lot of birds, so they probably do eat birds as well.
Nice.
So
Chicken.
one of the earliest reports of a
Sparrow.
Congamato actually comes from traveler Frank Melland, and is depicted in his book in 1932 called The Witch Hound Africa.
Witch Hound
Yeah.
Africa.
Yeah.
It's tough to make that not sound racist.
So
Witch Hound Africa. Now I picture a dog in a witch costume.
So how Sanderson came across it was Sanderson and a fellow animal collector named Gerald Russell.
Did you say
This is for the-
collector?
Yes. So basically they shoot animals and keep the...
That's
like,
fucked up.
yeah. Well, that's part of poaching, right? So
Well, fuck that guy.
this happened in 1932, though. So
I don't give a shit. Fuck
so
that guy.
Gerald Russell
Poachers in my town.
and Sanderson were wading down in a stream in Cameroon, right by the Asumbo Mountains. And one evening, when they were in search of tortoises to collect, very abruptly, a jet black creature with enormous wings, flattened monkey-like face, flew out of the darkness directly towards them with its lower jaw hanging, revealing an abundance of large, white, sharp teeth. Sanderson instinctively ducked, and then he and Russell fired a number of shots in the direction of the terrifying apparition, but it merely wheeled out of range, vanished back into the darkness, its wings cutting through the air with a loud hissing sound. The two men agreed that the wingspan was at least 12 feet, and it seemed to have been jet black in color. When they told the local hunters back at the camp what happened, the hunters were all terrified, and so much so as informing the naturalist that their would-be attacker was the Congo Matu.
The Conga's motto.
So back to the
What
Ahool.
happens when white people try to do shit?
So back to the Ahool.
Are you trying to say that I'm white?
No. You're white. There's no trying.
Are you saying that I'm trying to be white?
No, I'm saying you are white. And you can't help it. It's
Bro.
fucking tragic.
Bro, that's crazy shit, yo.
Thank you for proving my point.
Bro, we should kick him out.
Bro.
So, an actual
Said the
more
frat team.
a more recent sighting of the Ahool, a student that was in southern Portugal, which is quite a ways away from
Yeah, that's not
these
even
things.
close.
In 2014, claims to have seen a large winged creature that made that exact same sound of the Ahool. His name was Pedro, which I find is funny, and his three friends said that they heard the noise in the forest, looked up and saw a giant flying bat pass overhead, then disappear.
So these
But
things
no
fucking
one else
migrate.
reported it. Yeah, so apparently it migrates further.
Portugal?
So in New Guinea, there's also reports of a giant bat-like creature, although it's more often described as a pterosaur, and it's called the Ropen, which translates to demon flyer. So
That
it
is an absurdly short name for.
So it is sometimes described as a bat-like
secretly
creature.
Code for dick butt.
Wow. It is sometimes described as a bat-like creature, but like I said, it is more often depicted as a pterosaur by the people from New Guinea. we'll do a whole episode on the Ropin because it is it has a huge amount of sightings behind it. So it'll be interesting to actually do a whole episode just based on it. But I wanted to touch on the fact that some people think that the Ropin and the Ahool are the same creature, even though they have different descriptions sometimes.
Yeah, the Ropin tends to hogtie people.
All about that bees.
I'm not sure what's funnier. Just, you know what? No, the funniest part is that you give the shitty little laugh and you're like, it's so funny.
He's too polite to say, fuck you.
Holy crap, Ned. Jeez.
I'll say it.
There is also reports of it possibly being related to the Orang Bati. The Orang Bati is
what?
Yeah, the Orang Bati is a flying cryptid located in Southeast Asia, so we are in the same general location.
Not to get confused with the right Bati.
Yeah. The Orang Bati and the Right Bati. So, these vicious, soaring primates are notorious for kidnapping and carrying away children to be eaten during their nocturnal raids on native villages. This got, intense.
God, they're like the less polite Kappas.
Yeah, so they're actually more known to frequent the little-known Indonesian island of Seram, which is the second largest island.
Seram?
Yeah, Seram. It is said that it is home to yet another bizarre winged primate, so possibly the Ahool as well. If the Ahool is a primate, like it's sometimes described as. Since back in the 1500s, the Moluccans, which I'm guessing that's what the name of the natives is, have told Christian missionaries that blood-curdling tales of the species of nocturnal airborne predators, which are infamous for their nighttime raids on the villages, and for kidnapping children and infants. So basically these Christian missionaries showed up and they're talking to them and taught them a little bit of English, and then one of the first things that these people told them was do you know about these giant things that just carry off our kids?
Little Timmy was just sleeping in his bed, and it was like, hey kid, want some candy? And then it pulled him out of the window.
So,
Like that Tammy's a boy.
What?
I just like that Tammy's a boy.
Yeah.
this creature...
I said Timmy.
So this creature, along with the Ahool, might also be related to the Mesoamerican Kamazots, which literally translates to death bat. Or, this is the best part as well, possibly even the North American future category, Bat Squatch.
Have we ever failed creatively as a people?
Bat
I've
Squatch.
never been disappointed.
Bat Squatch.
So, the natives of Seram, however, insist that their night sky is infested with soaring simians, which they describe as approximately 5 feet in height.
I really appreciate the alliteration. Yeah.
These creatures can also be said to be bare black, leathery wings, red skin, and a long, thin tail.
So it's black and red?
Apparently.
It's a tiny devil.
It has blood red skin, so probably
like the fur is black and the skin is... Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, this confirms that, this, as if to confirm the fact, the name Orang Bati itself literally translates into the indigenous language as men with wings. So they have literally called these things men with wings just for, sake of it.
I'd like wings.
In 1987, English missionary Tyson Hughes began an 18-month contract to assist the Moluccan tribes to develop more efficient farms. Tyson heard stories about the Orang Bati and told them to the rest of the civilized world, so he basically brought these stories over, though he remained very skeptical of these vicious traits. That wasn't until about midway through his contract when Hughes claims to have had an actual eyewitness encounter to one of the beasts. After this event, Hughes forged a deeper trust with the indigenous people, which he claims has helped inspire him to chronicle the horrific stories of the unusual beast, which natives claim haunts the sky.
So it's the drones of their era.
Yeah. So, it is thought that this thing might be just a regular bat. Skeptics throw it out there that it might be like a mutated or grotesque species of fruit bat that's not known, almost like the hammerhead bat.
No, that's a shark.
Nice try.
Well done. You've deciphered it.
It's actually a hammerhead shark with makeshift bat wings.
They'll never expect me up here.
Now to get the children I so desperately crave.
Why didn't we think of this earlier?
This is bad because my son has had nightmares about flying sharks. There's all sorts of
Where do you think he got the idea? So there are
around the internet.
So there are two suborders of bats. There are the mega bats, which constitute basically fruit bats because they are the largest species.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's micro bats, which constitute like basically all the other little species. And
Both are
what's
adorable.
yeah, but what's weird is that
Except vampire bats. They have
Still
that.
pretty cute. They
They have that really funky nose and ears. They're the only one that looks
Have you not seen
ugly.
micro pigs?
Yeah, something just being small doesn't always make it
No, but
cute.
like kind of similar.
No, micropigs are fucking adorable, mind you.
It's the trot that gets you.
Like, because moles are also tiny, but star-nosed moles
are fucking nightmares.
they're ugly as shit.
Yes. It
so
looks like Thulu nose.
one of the reasons that people have a hard time with the Ahool is the fact that,
They can't say it.
well, no. But they could always say asshole.
And then they get shit on.
Yeah. So they expect a bat with a 12-foot wingspan to be closely allied to like the mega bat, so like it should be like a fruit bat. But the nose, like the flattened nose or humanoid face of the Ahool, kind of sits more with like microbats that have that like flat nose, while larger bats normally have that distinct muzzle, which is what makes them normally described as like flying foxes.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking too, because that's why I made the vampire joke.
Yeah.
Because it reminded me more of vampire bat noses, which are usually pretty small.
Yeah, so that's all the information I have on the Ahool.
Oh. Well,
But that bat that I showed you, the photo that sparked all this, is the fact that it is actually just a fruit bat from the Philippines, and it's just the way that the wings are tucked that make it look like it's much larger. But it did spark this whole thing in 2020 about the fact that it's 2020 and we're gonna fucking... But, like I said, scientists...
Also, the whole coronavirus and the coronavirus linking with the
bats.
with the bats and all that.
So they ate an Ahool?
Yeah. Ew. It could have been worse. They could have ate an Athel.
What I love is the joke wink.
Was that ever actually confirmed?
What?
The bat, like, I knew bat soup existed, but like, did that actually cause it?
It's an actual real possibility because of the fact that coronavirus is found in bats or something like that, but it doesn't affect them that way.
Yeah,
so
because it's supposed to be incredibly related to SARS, which came from a similar, well, sort of.
No, it's part of the same family. It's SARS type 2 covariant.
Yeah. But, because SARS only stands for, like, sudden acute respiratory,
There you go.
Yeah.
syndrome. And this was a sudden acute respiratory system as well, but it wasn't the exact same virus. Anyways.
Yeah.
We can get into that in the overflow, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the Ahool. We will talk about the Ropin at another time, and we will also talk about Bat Squatch at some point.
I just like I like bat facts. I just in general like animal facts. I've always been that way. That's kind of who I is.
What I like too about exploring
is
I speak like that all the time. I don't know why you're only now noticing.
I'm not just now noticing, I'm just now making fun of.
What I like, too, is when we do a cryptid of some sort, I like walking into it with a more...
Well, I wouldn't want to walk into it. Probably kill me.
I would totally want to walk in it. I would totally kill it and bring it back.
I'm gonna hug it.
I like walking into it with, like, I like walking into the cryptids that actually have more behind them rather than, like, for instance, the rock apes had a lot of military records behind it, whereas there were no real like civilian sightings.
Mm-hmm.
And this has a lot of sightings from like actual naturalists and things like that.
2 naturalists and a fuck ton of culture.
Yeah.
So 2 guys drinking and a culture. So not necessarily. just to play the asshole.
But what I do love about that...
No, you're an asshole.
I'm an Irish asshole. I drink. Give me a break.
But what I do like about it is that they've given it a genus, because they do a lot of the consensus is that this thing might actually really exist, so they've given it an actual species genus for when it's discovered.
Yeah, unlike a lot of cryptids, this one definitely has a pretty good chance of being real because, well, if it's just a giant bat, it's just a giant fucking bat.
Yeah.
Like, it's nothing special as opposed to, like, was it the Waku or whatever?
Yeah, the Orang Batu.
No, I was talking about the octopus shark.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's more absurd and doesn't...
Is that not just a squid?
No. Like, it's a shark head
with octopus legs.
With octopus back legs.
I mean, squid are obnoxiously aggressive, so I can kind of see what
the mouth and sharp teeth at the front.
Yeah, but you associate water and fear, you immediately get to sharks. You can see how people get there.
Yeah, but but that's what he's saying is that it's a ridiculous creature.
Yes.
Whereas
I'm just trying to filter the human perception and to try to actually get into what it could be.
Yeah. Well, it's also like when we're going to talk about Bigfoot, which is it has a lot of a lot of scientists are on the fence about it, whether it exists or whether it doesn't exist, and the sightings are kind of all over the place, but then...
And he's camera-proof.
Yeah, apparently.
I actually made a joke the other day.
He admits his own EM field.
Because people rarely ever see my roommate, I made this joke that he's kind of like Bigfoot. You rarely ever see him, and then whenever you take a picture of him, it's always his back, and he's just turning around looking at you.
I could see it.
All right. I'm going to conclude this episode.
Thanks for editing.
You're welcome. It's what I do.
We love you, bud.
Love you too.
Yeah, we're going to conclude that episode there.
Giant.
Mysterious.
Yeah.
God.
I'm going to be the only audible one in this, aren't I?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's our show. Don't forget to rate and like and subscribe and whatnot. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at BAChaosJar. Follow me on Twitter at I'm Glad You Asked _.
Harass him with questions.
Harass me with questions. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Pandora's Jar Podcast. And lastly, check out our YouTube, where you'll probably hear this. If you're hearing this on YouTube, well then fucking ignore it. And
keep doing what you're doing.
No, I mean that part. Yeah, okay, thanks. Anyway, and you can always be a patron by going to patreon.com/chaosjar. All right. All that in the show notes. You guys have a good night.